MK and I am back with another Scraptember 2022 prompt, and today is a sketch made by one of the Scrappy Sisters from Oz, and I believe this is Jessica's sketch. I'm also combining this with Paw Your Way to Your Heart layouts about our puppies. So today I used a tree ring die set and a triple thick, I think is what it's called, 3D effect embossing folder. So I'm just showing you guys what they look like, and the die actually coordinates with the embossing folder. I also pulled out this stamp or die set from Stampin' Up. I don't remember what the name of it's called, but I just used it for the webbing pieces right here. And then I went ahead and inked them up with my ground espresso that never ever leaves my desk. So I also inked up the tree rings in ground espresso as well, so that way the bark was a little bit darker than the rings itself. So that's how I got my effect there, and I only ran it through twice and I got all of those tree rings. I was pretty impressed. I do wish I would have sprayed my tree rings to get a better impression on the inside, but that's okay. I also got all of these really cool twigs and leaves and things, and I colored them after inking them up using the exact same like khaki paper, but I used my Stampin' Up! Blends to ink those, and the colors I chose were based off of my my die cuts that I have over on the right. But I chose dark pumpkin pie and dark old olive. Sorry for the blur. There it is. And like I said, I picked those out because of the die cuts that I have on the right. Here are two photos of my beautiful puppy Roscoe. I love him. I also have some twine, but I do end up not using it because it ends up being a little bit thicker than I was expecting it to be. And like I said, all of these little bits and pieces are from a Doodlebug collection. I believe it's the Great Outdoors. I cannot remember. I apologize about that, you guys. But if I'm smart enough, I will remember a link down below and show you guys what they are. It's like one of the only Doodlebug collections that doesn't have faces. Cool. Anyways, I also have this really cool patch that says Happy Camper that I thought matched these two Heidi Swap papers really well. So I have a little leftover from another project that I did, but they're just from the Heidi Swap Wolf Pack paper pad. Woo, say that 10 times fast. And then from my Christmas collection, yay, I pulled out this birch looking print because I thought that it would look really good and I thought my dog would stick out really well. However, when I started backing my photos, they blended. It was almost like they disappeared except for, you know, his little black face. And that was it, to be honest. So Paw Your Way to Your Heart is a brainchild of Rebecca Lockhart and Miranda Weber. And I thought that it would be perfect because I do have photos of my puppies, but I've never actually even attempted to scrapbook them. It's just one of those things that I just don't think about until I seen that they had this going on, and I thought, hey, can I, you know, tag along and follow you guys? But I have to tell you guys that they did theirs on time. So it was last Thursday. The little mini weeks, either at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month, they kill me, you guys. I only pay attention to the main 4 weeks of a month. And so when, you know, like this month started on a Thursday, which would have been the first Thursday. So last Thursday, the 15th, was the third Thursday of the month for the puppy paws. And to be honest, I thought it was this Thursday. This is what I had planned. So I contacted Rebecca and said, well, I'm a rebel. I'm going to do it anyways. Give a shout out to you guys. And, you know, it is what it is. Those little micro weeks in a month are just a killer. Seriously. Okay, so like I said, my puppy blended in to the birch background that I had picked out. I didn't want to change the background, so I'm going to add to it. I picked out this Everbright green paper, and I'm distressing the crap out of it to try and get it the green that I want, but I didn't want to lose the highs and the lows of the bright green that it used to be, if that makes any sense. So I still want it to be that bright green because in the Doodlebug collection, there is that bright green, and I thought, oh, that's a perfect way to bring it in without actually like bringing it in. Type of deal. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, but still. Okay, so what I'm doing is I brushed over in oh, I think it was brushed corduroy, to be honest, in oxide and in ink. The oxide went on a little lighter, and what my favorite part about oxides is that it gives me a gliding surface for the rest of my inks, and then it just seems to go on beautifully. Then I took like a scoring sponge. This is a very, very porous sponge, and I am just making up lines and scratching the surface with the ink, basically, in ground espresso as well as peeled paint. So I've got dark green and light and dark brown scratched on my surface, and then it wasn't dark enough just yet, so I went ahead and I went over it briefly with the with my blender tool using ground espresso as well. Now I'm inking the edges in ground espresso just so that way the birch sticks out, and I like that a lot. Now I didn't gut my photo or my paper because I have an abundance of Christmas paper, you guys. I was not heartbroken that I did not keep this paper, seriously. I am a-okay with the way that it looks, but now look at how my puppy just pops off the page. Oh my gosh. So this was a camping trip from last year that we took, and he found a stick and was just happy as a clam chewing on his stick. And of course, one of the kids would grab it and throw it, and he'd be like, really? And go and get it, and then sit back down and start chewing on his stick again until the kids throw it again. And you could see the look on his face like, what is the point of that? But it's adorable, and he's cute, especially with those ears. Oh my gosh, they're so big. But yes, he's happy and content all the time, no matter what he is doing. He just seems like, he's happy with whatever. His little stick, his little ball, his whatever. He's happy. Okay, so I also took those trees from Heidi Swap and I fussy cut them. Now, they aren't exactly the right green. They're not exactly the right brown. They're not exactly the right anything. But I tucked them in anyways. And to be honest, after I added everything else that was matchy-matchy, they blended really well. I really like how they just picked up and blended. This was the little tag I was telling you about that has the light green and the dark green and then the medium green inside. And so I feel like my background now matches those two trees, even though I only add it here and there. I don't add it. Oh, I added it again right there in that little label. So yeah, I'm following the sketch-ish, but I did go a little overboard. I didn't have a little tiny cluster of flowers. I am bringing in labels to put in every cluster. So one of my labels is round and two of them, one of them was a word bubble and I hid it. It's that breathtaking one up there. I kind of hid it a little bit so it wasn't a word bubble because I struggle with word bubbles. This is where I decide if I like my twine or not. It ends up being just a little bit too thick, so I'm going to play with it a little bit. Like I said, I like the upper cluster. I like how it's kind of sticking out and poking out there, but when I add this piece in down at the bottom, now it just seems like I'm trying too hard. I just don't like it. So I took it all out, glued everything down, and now I'm moving on to my twigs with the leaves and things. And actually, I almost forgot about them, truth be told. And I didn't end up using the orange because I actually have a photo of both of our dogs together. And the little label or tag or banner piece says fur babies. I actually wanted to use that with both of my puppies instead of just the one puppy because it's plural. And so I thought, oh, okay, orange isn't making it on this layout because I did pick two pieces to bring the orange around and match my berries. Now, could I have left them out of this layout? Absolutely. But by the time that I actually inked the branch portion, they're not as bright orange as they were when I first started. So they don't really stick out like a sore thumb at all. And I don't mind it. But I do believe that having all of these branches inside my clusters, which my clusters grew and grew and grew and kept growing, I do feel like they blended the trees in a lot more than when they were just sticking out. I also think that they match my photos pretty well, even though they don't match anything else that I'm adding to the layout. I really like my trees, you guys. I really do. And I'm glad to be using up this paper, even though it was hard for me to use it as a pattern paper. that sort of deal. So anyways, going to finish off by tucking and gluing and gluing and tucking. There are a lot of pieces that I actually just kind of tuck and leave to see if I like it there, like this piece right here. I just play with it for a little bit, tuck it in, and then leave it without gluing it to see if I still like it. It's just one of those things that, does it bother the eye? Does it bother my eye? And if it does, I'll take it out. If it doesn't, I'll leave it in and I'll glue it. So I'm trying to not go all the way up the photo, which I really wanted to do, but then it wouldn't have been 3 separate clusters. It would have been just one ginormous cluster behind my photo type deal. So I was trying to stick true with the layout. Now, of course, my title's not as large. It's got several little wordy things on it. So when I go wordy like this, I try, I usually don't do a title because all the little words make up a title or a journaling spot or anything like that. And of course, I can't just throw wood rounds away. So I'm going to tuck a few in here and there and finish off my clusters like so. I think I have one more piece that I need to glue. See, I tried to go up that, I really wanted to go up that photo. I really did. But I'm going to finish off just by doing splatters in Dina Wankley. This one is her gold, which is called Guilt. And then I'm going to come back in and go in white. I've been really liking mixing my splatters and having multiple splatters. I like the depth perception that it gives with the 2 different splatters, or sometimes even 3 different splatters. But the white really does stick out and shine on this one here. I liked how this came out, you guys. It was a great sketch from Jessica. I think I said Christy. Oh my gosh. I think I did. I apologize. I'm so used to Christy and her 30 days. I apologize, you guys. This is Jessica's sketch from the Scrappy Sisters. And that is my layout for today. Thank you so very much for hanging out with me today. I really, truly enjoy, scrapping my puppies and finally getting them in layouts, because like I said, I've got a stack of photos and I just leave them there. I've never thought about actually scrapbooking them, in all honesty. Never have. And most of that is because it's not picture perfect. There's stuff inside the background and things like that. So, never thought about it. But anyways, this is mine today, even though it was last Thursday. So I am late on the Paw Your Way. I still will link Miranda and Rebecca. Sorry, I've got Jessica stuck in my head. I still will link Rebecca and Miranda's channels, so that way you can go and check out their Paw Your Ways, even though you might have to look for it a little bit because it was last week. And then also too, there's the playlist for Scraptember linked down below, and the Facebook group for Scraptember is linked down below. So there's lots of links to go check out and see other inspiration on how to scrap your puppies. And, of course, the prompt too. This is a beautiful sketch. So anyways, thank you so much, and I will check y'all later.